Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei. We're live from Taipei City as part of the Taiwan Games Week here. Day 3 of 5. 2 more days to come after this, so if you do feel like coming down and joining us on the main stage tomorrow for the quarterfinals, please do so. We'd love to have you down here and enjoying the StarCraft 2 action alongside us in the crowd. Back on the panel with Apollo, Kalaris and Susie. We're heading into our winners bracket game now. It's Maru once more. We've spoken about Maru quite some length, and we've also interviewed him to death. I think we've worked out that actually he's worried about everything, fazed by nothing. I think that's the easiest way to sum it up. So let's talk about PartinG. Firstly, start with you, Sean. PartinG, he's a great player, great character as well. Brilliant backstage when we're always back there. He's always ridding some of the other players, making jokes and messing around. And life and soul of the party, and soul being a good thing for the kind of builds that we've seen from him in the past. But when we come to the serious play, I haven't seen anything in the last 12 months that would suggest that he's going to win another title. So where's he going to come from?
Yeah, I completely agree with you, actually. His personality and the way that he is outside of StarCraft, I think, is keeping him away from being a winner.
So you think it's hurting him?
Yes, I do. Okay. If you think about the players who are winning tournaments, and Maru, Life, these guys, they are very 100% focused on the game. Yeah. PartinG's getting a little bit older. He wants that freedom. He wants to be able to do whatever he wants. But I think that's also keeping away from winning tournaments. There's no doubt in anybody's mind that he is one of the best at what he does. But I think that we can all agree, and anyone who's watching can agree, that he isn't on the same level as Life, Maru, you know, SOS, Hero, and to a certain degree Rain as well.
He has so many of the attributes that you'd expect of a top player. I mean, many compare him in a Maverick kind of sense to MC, and MC's been winning tournaments in the last couple of years, so you know, what's stopping him doing the same thing? I mean, especially when you see him at GSL and you see him sitting there and he's able to pick his group, for instance, and he picks 3 of the hardest players in the whole round just because it's fun. And you sit there thinking, why would you do that? Only he could do that, and yet he still doesn't go through.
And yeah, and the thing is, if he continues to do that for the rest of the year in different types of tournaments that he plays, he will probably lose all of them. And I think that this is going to be a difficult tournament for him, and I don't think he's going to get that deep.
All right, James, he's got an interesting record against Maru. He's actually 6-2 up in matches. In fact, Maru's only ever won 1 best-of-3 officially against PartinG, so he's got that going for him. So can he get inside Maru's head? I mean, you saw what he was like on the desk and how he was playing in the first match. Nothing really seems to faze the young man. So how is PartinG going to use this wild card Maverick side of him to get inside Maru's head?
I think on a very serious stage like this, it's going to be very, very difficult to get into someone's head like Maru. I think last year for PartinG, there was the blend of happy partying and well played, all coming to fruition in Home Story Cup 10, which was the perfect element for him to do well.
It's like a Korean Stefano, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. So that's where he did have some success. But on this serious stage against a guy like Maru, I think it's going to be really, really difficult, even though he beat Flash at Home Story Cup.
Yeah. Okay.
As funny as this is, I think there's 2 things that really favor PartinG coming into this. And number one, that's why I say as funny as it is, he plays Protoss.
Yep.
And as funny as that sounds, Protoss, out of all the races, have the most strategies to choose from and can be very difficult to play against in the second part of this, a best-of-3. In a best-of-3, it's a lot easier than a best-of-5 and best-of-7 against a player who is better than you are. Yep. So I think those 2 elements put together can help PartinG on stage.
Okay, Susie, let's get the personal side of PartinG.
Okay, so I asked him, when I talk about you on the desk, what do you want me to say about you? And he said,
anything you want to, baby.
No, he goes, say I like parties and girls. And I was like, really? Most players would keep away from that. He's like, no. Say party animal for me. And I was like, wow. All right, you're a party animal. I mean, him going over to the Flash Wolves now, he said he made this change because he didn't like the really rigid regimen of SKT. But apparently, Flash Wolves are actually working him pretty hard too. I don't know if you guys knew that, and he's a little bit upset about that. But when I asked him about this matchup, he said, well, to my memory, I don't think I've ever lost to Maru, and no, I think I'll be able to win this pretty easily. He was pretty confident in saying that.
He obviously blocks out defeats to Maru.
So.
I mean, he's only lost twice to him ever, so that's probably why.
That's a good point that Susie brought up, though, because in 2014, I mean, there were many times where he was participating in like Intel Extreme Masters qualifiers, and I was talking to him in chat, and he wanted to do more international events and wanted to go to more of them, but he was locked down quite a bit by SK Telecom to be active in Pro League and focus on that almost entirely. But now, being a little bit happier, maybe this gives him a bit more freedom and a bit more relaxation to do better here.
Like you say, I mean, winning Home Story Cup 10 was a great achievement. But almost like a perfect storm of exactly the kind of ingredients and elements that he wants. What does he do in 2015 to get into that top 16 for BlizzCon? Because that's ultimately where he wants to be. One-off wins are great at Home Story, but he wants to be in that top 16.
Yeah, and he just has to be honest, you don't need to be a tournament winner to get top 16. And I think every different player has different types of goals they set themselves personally, even though they don't display them publicly. And I think if you're always aiming for top 8 and say, okay, there are better players than me, if I get lucky and don't meet the better players who will win the tournaments, and I do get a round of 8 or a round of 4 if I'm lucky enough, you can gather enough points if you do travel to enough tournaments.
That's got to be his minimum achievement here, surely, isn't it, round of 8?
For PartinG, minimum is 8, should be aiming at top 4.
I mean,
top 4, okay.
Should be aiming for a top 4.
On Yoi Flash Wolves, look at how Sam did in 2014. He went to a lot of tournaments off the back of Yoi Flash Wolves and was able to go to BlizzCon. So PartinG is in a good position for that, I would say, as well.
That's a great point. I mean, if you put them side by side, you'd have to say PartinG's probably the better player over a whole year. If they were playing head-to-head every week, he would probably come out ahead slightly. And now they've got the same kind of backing on them, so PartinG presumably should be able to mirror what Sam did in 2014.
Potentially.
And another thing is that, you know, you say players like Life and Maru, we can see that by characteristic, they are very introverted characters, you know. Maybe they need that quiet time to practice a lot and, you know, someone to tell them what to do. But someone like PartinG, I mean, this guy, he's a free spirit, and he wants to practice when he's feeling hot. And if he wants to go out and party, then, you know, so be it. And maybe that's what gets him revved up and gives him that new, fresh motivation to do better.
He's still only 20 years old as well. He's not an old man by any means.
It's true. But as a StarCraft fan for many a year, and knowing how difficult this game is, and knowing that you need 100% commitment to be a winner, he won't be, I don't think, if he doesn't put 100% into it.
Who says he's not putting 100% into it? This could be the way he refreshes himself.
Trust me, hangovers are a pain in the backside.
It sounds a bit like 50% party, 50% practice to me right now, but I could be wrong on that.
Well,
right, we're about to head over to the commentary, but before we do that, let's get the predictions. Let's go around the table. Susie.
Oh gosh, I've been wrong all the time because I just keep going with my heart and what I want. I want PartinG to win. I think it'll be a lot of fun. He'd also be really great at the desk because he speaks a little bit of English, and I know he's not afraid to use it. So.
That's what worries me right now. We might need the guy with the bleeper backstage.
It'll be a good thing to have him here for the joy of having to get to interview him. But we saw Maru earlier. He's very good. Oh, gosh, this is really. I really can't pick. I'm sorry, guys. I really can't pick.
Fence sitting from Susie. Kalaris, I'm not allowed to let you get away with that.
No, not at all, and I don't intend to. 2-1 Maru, I think, in the end.
Yeah, Maru should win.
Yeah. Okay, I think from the analytical side of things at the desk, it's Maru that's going to win, but if your heart can rule your head, then Susie will have her way. And PartinG will be joining us on the desk after our winners bracket final. The winner of this does advance through to the round of 8, and that will leave just one more spot in the quarterfinals. Let's head over to the commentary desk now with your lead caster, Mr. Maynard.
Hello, StarCraft fans. Welcome back. Until Extreme Masters in Taipei, heating up with Maru just embarrassing True in a best of 3, and moving on to the winners match against PartinG, who had a pretty similar result against Hydra.
Yeah, he did pretty well, actually. I have a chance to catch a little bit of those games, especially the second one, watch the replay, and to my surprise, rather than playing very aggressive, which is what was to be expected of him, because he's been doing it a lot against Zerg, he played a lot more of a macro-orientated style, where, you know, he went up to a third base, got a lot of Colossus, Blink Stalkers, and then made things happen later on in the game compared to usually where he will be a lot more aggressive early on. So here up against Maru, I'm pretty sure it's going to be different. They just played in GSL just a week ago, and in both of the games, which were on Deadwing and Merry-Go-Round, he opened with his Stargates against a Maru who really seemed to like to rush up to a starport, get some Hellions here and there, try to do a bit of harassment, economic harassment, and in the end got the worst end of things both times because he lost 0-2.
Well, the thing is, like, both players, I mean, it's surprising to me to hear that PartinG was so passive against Hydra and went for that huge macro play, because he and Maru
in second
are both...
game.
In the second game, okay. Because he and Maru are generally very aggressive players, so let's watch this unfold. And Maru and PartinG in the booth there. So, I mean, PartinG is half party, half StarCraft. Maru, 100% StarCraft. He's a practice machine. In the top right here from Jin Air. It's the man in question, Maru. And in the bottom left, Yoi Flash Wolves, this is PartinG. PartinG big boy.
You know, it's funny because I mentioned Maru, you know, still looking like the same kid he used to look like a few years ago. I think it was 3 years ago in 2012. And the GSTL finals was being held in Las Vegas. And he was already playing on that big stage. Guess who he played against back then? Against PartinG in the second match. He beat July in the first match. Then he had to play PartinG. It was on Calm Before the Storm. I remember that game. He got into a lot of trouble. Then ended up basically hiding on the top left-hand side of the map. And PartinG took him quite some time to find Maru. But having as many Templars as he did, which back then, I mean, Templars were pretty OP. They're still pretty OP. PartinG was able to secure the win anyway. And
that actually was the year that PartinG was the world champion in StarCraft, I think.
Yeah, PartinG back then, I guess, was, to some extent a lot scarier than he is now. Even though he's still pretty scary. You know, back then he was definitely one of the names where when he entered the tournament, he was kind of like, I guess, gonna win it or make the finals. Or do very well in general. And, you know, he completely exploded as a player, mostly because of his PvT. Later on, it kind of changed. Actually, when I saw him here in Taipei, the first thing he asked me is, how do you beat Terran? To which I replied, I'm the last guy you should ever ask about this.
Well, it's like I've been telling you guys, man. Apparently Protoss is not so great against Terran. Well, someone should tell all the Protoss that I play against, because my win rate's rocking like a mid-30 percentage. It's not so great. Korea's a tough server, man.
Yeah. In both of the games that I played, as I mentioned, in GSL just 1 week ago, or just a little bit over a week ago, it was twice a Stargate opener and Oracles being used out of PartinG, who played very aggressive, not just with the Oracle, but also with Stalkers offensively. That game on Deadwing, actually. The Oracle did a little bit of damage, and instead of just sitting back and macroing, he attacked with a lot of Stalkers, a second Oracle, and at the same time tactical losses.
So in this game, PartinG smartly checking for anything that coming across the map here. We know it's Reaper. Reaper expand, still quite common in TvP. Really good to get your scouting down and to look for proxy pylons. It really is the best unit for it in the early game. But
wow.
What?
Both players checking so much for proxies.
Yeah.
Maru did it and PartinG did it on the right-hand side of the map.
He doesn't want to lose to Oracles again, man. He's looking for those Stargates.
Yeah, and I mean, he's right to do it. It's just, even if it's not going to be the case, you're better safe than sorry, Maynard.
Yeah, absolutely. Both players tend to be quite aggressive. Now, when Maru, obviously, against PartinG, when you're going for things like Hellions and fast starports, you don't have a whole lot on the ground to counter flying units. In this game so far, we haven't seen anything of the sort from PartinG just yet, but Maru looking like he might want to do Hellions again. He's dropping a reactor. He's got the reactor on the barracks there, and he's got the factory right next to it as well.
Yes. The thing is, when you do a very aggressive build, like they both did in the games that they played recently in the GSL, it can become a slugfest very quickly. There is a little bit of randomness as well, you know, with barely missing what your opponent is doing or where he's attacking through. So I think in this series, they both wanted to remove that with going with more of a macro build and try to play better defensively in preparing against what they were expecting out of each other. And in this case, it's funny because they both do the same thing, and they're going to be heading into a lot more of a macro-orientated game. Even though Maru, he went straight into a factory, I guess, behind the initial barracks. So he's not going to go into some kind of 3 barracks, you know, bio.
No, he's going to try for the Hellion drop again. Didn't go so well for him last time versus PartinG, but who knows? Different map, different tournament. But PartinG going for Blink here.
Yeah.
And keeping his Nexus up behind it.
Yeah, if PartinG is able to get a whiff of what's happening here and sees it coming just a minimum, I really think he's going to be able to do super well against this kind of play here out of Maru. And if you don't do much damage with this, then you're exposed to not only playing far behind, but this so deadly counterattack that your Protoss opponent could go for here in PartinG, who's already dropped down 2 gate, but look of things, going to be 1 more. So very dangerous.
So this is slightly different than the last time. It was looking like a Hellion drop here, but he's actually going to go for Hellion pressure at the front with the Reaper as well. Reaper not going to do a whole lot, but the Hellion's looking for some probes here. And behind this, he's going to load up a medevac with some Marines, get some Widow mines.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Does he even kill a single unit? I don't think so.
No, he's getting in the main, and he does see the Twilight Council being chrono boosted at least.
Yeah, which is nice, but I mean, losing 2 Hellions and a Reaper like this, definitely not good here for Maru. The only thing he has going for him is that he has Widow Mines, and there is not a Robo yet, but a 5th gateway instead.
Okay. So lots of gateways going down for PartinG, looking like it wants to put on some blink pressure at the front here. Maru loading up the medevac. He's going to pick up some Marines as well. Doesn't look like it. Just going to go straight for the mines.
Actually, yeah, the robo was made is finishing now. So, I mean, PartinG here, he's in a great position. It's really all going to be about that one medevac headed for his win. And I mean, as long as he does not basically go AFK and let these two Widow Mines blow up his entire mineral line, he might be able to just end the game on this blink attack. How do you defend here as Maru? He has 1 Marauder and 5 Marines.
Not too much at all, and he's only just started stim as well, because you know he did the late stim quite a lot to get the reactor instead. And in comes the medevac with a couple Widow Mines here. He's looking for some probe kills. PartinG with a nice reaction. Nice. He'll be completely fine against these Widow Mines for now.
Yeah, get them to blow up on just a single probe.
Blinking across into the natural, while the Hellions come into the natural of PartinG. And they went across from the third. I didn't know that they could make that gap.
No hesitation here. Actually, Hellion is keeping those Zealots busy in the main. As the Observer will find it very high. Okay, no, he's going to be able to defend easily no matter what. And now PartinG, I mean, it's going to be very hard for him to mess up here. He just has to blink back every time he loses the shield. Keep on reinforcing with more and more Stalkers. Maru not having Steam Pack, I mean, even if he has a few Marauders and Marines here and there, he's not going to be able to do enough damage to the Stalkers to be cost effective.
PartinG has already got 5 worker kills. He's looking to get some serious damage hurt on. No, he's got an Observer up on the high ground there, looking like he's got a clear path into the main. And there he goes, blinking in. He could possibly get Stim.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's going to get it too. Oh, Stim gets taken, and that's terrible for Maru. PartinG in a brilliant spot right now.
And Maru wanted to play safe against DTs. He even made a turret that's going to be completely useless. He needed all the money that he could use on units, on more units.
Oh my god, Maru is in so much trouble, Todd. He's just going to be more and more Stalkers.
Okay, you know how Maru does not get phased? He's actually literally, I think, about to die. He starts a 3rd CC. What?
Oh my god.
If there was any time to get phased and scared, it was now, Maru.
I would be certainly phased. That's a very, very kind way to say it if I was in Maru's position right now. Blink under the medevac. The workers are being pulled, but with Blink, with this many Stalkers, I can't see him getting too much done here as Maru. I mean, pulling 1 Stalker away to take the Widow Mine hit. He's still got plenty left over. More Stalkers, Zealots being reinforced as well. Surely, Maru is going to lose game number 1 here against Yoi Flash Rules PartinG. GG. Wow.
I guess he was finally worried because he pulled the SCVs, but only after his entire army died and Medivacs as well, so... Pretty sad game out of Maru against a PartinG who... I mean, we said it, we didn't think he was going to slow down, he was probably going to play this aggressively, and he doesn't get any more aggressive than that, Maynard.
It's as bad as versus it gets. I mean, Blink Stalkers have been a problem before on the older maps, but I guess the older maps weren't so Protoss favored back in the day. There weren't too many blinkable maps, but PartinG definitely making it work there on Overgrowth.
That was pretty... I'm a little bit surprised that Maru is playing the way he is, by the way, with the starports instead of more barracks and bio. So maybe they'll change things up in the second game, we'll see.
Didn't work in GSL, isn't working here just yet, but we'll see. Game number 2 coming out shortly. We're going to take a small break. Don't go away. Game number 2 between Maru and the PartinG coming up next. What's up, guys? Muslim and Todd here, ready for game number 2 between PartinG and Maru. And we can't wait for this one, man. Just non-stop aggression for both these players. It's going to be action-packed.
Yeah, the thing about Maru is that the way he's been opening, you know, for quick factory, quick starport, it's not been working out for him at all. In all of the games that he's played against PartinG recently, the last 3 maps went pretty poorly for him. Even like the GSL games looked like a formality for PartinG. I mean, it wasn't like super fast games where he completely stomped him. Okay, maybe one of them actually, but overall, like PartinG didn't seem to be getting in too much trouble ever. And here again, that first game was really one-sided. Like I was very surprised at some of the decisions of Maru here, especially defensively. You know, pulling SCVs very, very late, not adding additional barracks instead of getting a 3rd CC before when he was about to die. Like,
yeah,
when you're about to die, you don't start another base.
Well, when you're a StarCraft 2 machine and you're just used to dropping that 3rd CC at a certain time, you just drop it anyway. But I mean,
unless you know you're gonna leave and you want to have some fun. I remember actually this one game from Night Ends where he was being attacked by Mass Broodlord Infestor in Wings of Liberty and he was literally about to die. And he had macroed so badly that he had so many minerals that he took like 6 bases and he started massing. I was like, what is he doing? Does he think he's gonna come back like this? No, no. He was just having some fun, I guess.
Good old Night End. It's been a while since I've seen him play. But yes, I mean, Maru, the build that Maru chose against PartinG hasn't worked for 3 games in a row now. He needs to switch it up a little bit. I mean, I'm sure it works against a lot of Protosses on the ladder. It looks really good.
Yeah.
But PartinG just has this number, man. He's not phased by it at all.
We're going to be playing on Secret Spring for the second map, and one of the interesting things about this map is that since it's new, the pylon or proxies placement have not been figured out so well, but remember last game, PartinG's probe was at the watchtower and he saw that Maru was looking very carefully for proxies, so if he takes that in consideration, I don't think he should try to proxy.
Yeah, it's very true. Switching over into the game now. Got PartinG and Maru in their boost, just taking it easy. These cold, hard nerd killers. Speaking of proxies.
Yep.
And looks like this guy in the bottom left here from Jinair. This is Maru, being an aggressive boy.
Yeah, not just. I mean, this is the most aggressive that you can be. That's an in-base depot and barracks.
Yeah.
Super aggressive. Probably hoping that PartinG not only will not look for it, but also play very greedy. Maybe with like something like a Nexus first. And actually, no, he's getting the depot back at home.
Okay. Now, isn't this just a wonderful map, Todd? 2 times we've seen Secret Springs, 2 times about 8 supply, a proxy.
The rush distance is so short. I'm wondering, I think this might be a Reaper, actually. He did very well with the Reapers.
Yeah, well, it's almost looking like the 8-8 Reaper sort of thing that used to be around back in the day when Reapers got that sick buff in Heart of the Swarm.
Yes, and if PartinG even has this, this idea that he can play a little bit greedier than usual here, he's going to be in trouble. But no, it's going to be a Gateway 13. Okay. Nothing like a Nexus first. Could still be greedy, like maybe he chooses to skip on the gas and goes for a Nexus behind this, in which case, I mean, Zealots and Probes against Reapers is going to be definitely a great challenge of this tournament and century here for PartinG, but no, he's going to go for the gas.
Okay. So Maru's barracks about to finish here. And I mean, there's no gas, so this is just going to be Marines. Reaper. And possibly a bunker as well as this SCV heads along.
I just had a flashback, actually. I can't believe I forgot about this, but when I was in Korea practicing on the ladder, I met Maru often on the ladder, and he proxied me a lot. This damn kid, like on Antigua Shipyard, almost every day, he did the barracks in the middle of the map and then went for bunkers and Marines, and it looks like he wants to do something similar here. This building placement is pretty insane.
Yeah, man, and there's a room for the Marine there in between the bunker and the SCV.
Oh, no, the SCV
it actually pops on the outside. Oh, no. The Marine's on the outside here, and Maru's bunker's about to be burned down by these probes.
Oh, God, this is bad here for Maru.
Yeah, he's in a spot of bother. Oh, he does it again.
That cheeky bunker, and this time
will the SCV block it?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
They get to cancel. If he had started this one in the first place, he would have been able to pull it off, but I guess he wanted the better location to keep on pushing below.
My. And PartinG using the mineral trick to move the probes through that surround that he had there. He's looking pretty good at the moment.
Yeah. How is Maru going to hold back at home against the first Stalker? I mean, PartinG's pretty broke, but if he starts a Stalker now, no, he starts Mothership Core instead. I guess both can be good. He's going to chrono boost that out. It's only 30 seconds build time, and you can chrono boost it out.
PartinG is so good, man. A barracks going back at home, and I'm getting flabbergasted watching this game, man. PartinG is large and in charge in this game. The Mothership Core going to shoo away this Marine. He's not afraid of anything anymore.
Big boys.
Maru completely. That's right. Maru completely shut down. One Zealot heading across, no doubt a Stalker to follow shortly. There it is, halfway done out of that gateway. And Maru's going to desperately try and muster up a defense here with the few amount of units he'll have.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. I mean,
he's still making Marines out of this barracks.
Yeah, he has to. The thing is, he definitely has enough money, and he wants to basically keep as many units of parting back at home as he can. So now it's going to be for that Zealot to try and make something happen without dying with a full surround.
He's trying to catch the Zealot here. Oh. Does catch it up against the command center, and he's have to micro the hurt SCVs away. But so far, he's losing a couple here. The Marines should be able to do the rest with good micro. And down goes that Zealot. There is still a Stalker to worry about, and a Mothership Core as well. And there's not too much anti-air here, Todd.
Yeah, you need at least 3 Marines to be to start doing well against the Mothership Core. And there is actually a lot of low hit points. SCV Maru is having to repair here. Yeah. Behind this, the barracks back at home had to fly away and move back by Maru because one of the Stalkers there was basically attacking it. Oh, he's blocking the natural expansion with the barracks. That's so cute.
Maru's actually doing not so bad considering his position here. He's not lost any SCVs to the Mothership Core yet. He's keeping his Marines alive, ready for the engagement that he has to do. But the Stalker is the...
Only 3 Marines against the Mothership Core and Stalker.
Yeah, 2 very hurt Marines as well.
This has to be game, I mean.
He's trying to take the CC, but... Oh,
he's going to pull the boys.
Yeah, the boys being pulled, which will help against the Stalker, but the Mothership Core reigning supreme in the sky, catching a Marine almost.
PartinG needs to be careful, and he's going to get surrounded here.
Yeah, he's caught the Stalker. Maru just marking so well considering the start of this game looking so horrible for him.
How did the Stalker get out? There was a full surround.
Yeah, I don't understand. I didn't see it happen. The Stalker will go down to the SCVs. They are still alive. The CC will be cancelled here because of the Mothership Core. Well, maybe not cancelled, but at least the SCV will die and delay it.
Maru, once again, he knew how strong the counter-attack was going to be, but he still didn't get any more barracks, bunker, and Marines. He started the CC.
He started a command center while a Zealot was in his main and he had 1 Marine.
Okay, I know why Maru is never phased now. He wants to live the thug life, basically. Get rich or die trying.
Well, die trying is what it looks like right now for poor Maru here in this game. The Mothership Core and this one Stalker, as predicted, being a real pain for the Terran player here. There's not a whole lot he can do about it. Plus, even if he does clean up here, there's a Twilight Council going down back at home for PartinG and another Nexus. Yeah. He's looking really good.
Cute move here, trying to start a building to block, but he's scanning. Does that mean he wants to leave?
All right, now that Stalker is absolutely caught. GG.
That means he wants to leave.
Yes. PartinG getting himself a 2-0. And not kind of... We knew the games would be aggressive, we knew that they would be fast, but not as close as we thought they would be.
I think the trash talk is going to be strong in that interview. After games like this out of the big boy. Well, this was a very dominant performance.
Susie got a wish, man. PartinG's going to go up there and she's going to hear all about what PartinG has to say about Maru after that best of 3. And Maru's going to have to go into a knockout round.
Trying to live the thug life can be very dangerous, man. I think Maru learned that at his own expense. But at the same time, I mean, he did so well against True earlier. He seems to be a beast against Zerg, so maybe he doesn't need to be worried. He just has to beat 1 more Zerg to advance.
I don't think that Maru is or should be worried about Hydra or True. He's shown that he's, like you said, incredible at TvZ. He was levels above True.
Yeah.
And I don't think Hydra is really... I wouldn't say he's better than True either, so I think that both players would struggle against Maru.
I wonder if Maru had hidden this build better, if it could have been better, but he really wanted to go for, for that one bunker up the ramp that's walled off and then start bunkering up more from there. Like, the reaction from PartinG was so perfect. It's very easy to mess up like this. Like I said before, I think Maru is like 15-0 against me in proxies, so and I don't think I'm that bad. Okay, I'm pretty bad, but not the worst player either.
All right, well... Speaking of the winner of the last best of 3, he's on the desk and he's ready to be interviewed. So let's cross over to Red Eye at the desk.
Thank you very much to Muslim and Todd there. Quite know what that was all about, but nevertheless, those two having a bit of fun in our second game in Group D. PartinG's with us. Hello, big boy.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, very good.
Yeah, very good after that. That was easy.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy, yeah. Just Maru.
Yes, because he always lose.
He always loses. I know he does.
See, that's what I told you. He said that to me earlier.
He only ever won twice against you.
뭔 말이에요?
Two games.
너랑 했을 때 딱 2번 이겼었다고.
아,
yeah.
He lucky man. Just lucky. Never lose.
Yeah, come on. So tell us about your build.
빌드에 대해서 좀 얘기해달라고.
제 빌드요?
Yeah.
뭐 어떻게 얘기해 줘?
게임 2?
게임 2.
이 경기 때 너의 빌드에 대해서 좀 얘기하자고.
I want to.
You see early?
I want to use a micro game,
Okay.
but he always scared me. So I think he came to must 100% must use all-in.
Yeah.
So my fear. I'm lucky guy and such.
There it is.
I go to quarter final.
Yeah.
Easy.
He just said, "There it is. I'm going to quarterfinals."
Yeah. So did you think maybe he would proxy?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Because if his peer think I can't win 상대를 이길 수 없다고 생각하면은 그런 빌드를 쓴다고.
못 쓴다고?
그 전진 그러니까 그런 올인 같은 빌드를 좋아한다고. 그러니까 쓰게 된다고. 만약에 내가 얘를 못 이긴다고
So
생각한다면.
usually Maru, when he feels like, oh crap, I'm not going to be able to win this, he
He
usually
goes
goes the all in, and he knew that already.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you think this is Maru's biggest weakness, like bad mentality?
이게 나쁜 점, 나쁜 점인가 마루의?
No, I think sometimes good, but many Korean people, gamer, know his style, so I think he very noob.
Noob.
Easy. So I want to always meet play game. I want to Maru play game.
All right.
Sorry, bad English.
It's good English. It's good English. I told you this at BlizzCon. At BlizzCon, I said to you, your English is getting very good. I like your English. It's very good.
Have confidence.
You have confidence, of
Yeah,
course. You're
absolutely.
partying.
Yeah.
Not partying, partying.
partying.
그
You have to
이름
put a
설명됐어.
Y. You have to put a Y in your name now.
If here have a beer,
Yeah.
I can more confidence.
Yeah?
Really?
Yes.
Is that how it works?
All right, guys, throw him some beer your way. I think
Speak English all night.
all night long, and he said he'll have more confidence. I think more confidence in the game as well.
I saw partying at the BlizzCon after party. He was full of confidence.
Yes, he did. He'd had a lot of confidence
A lot
that
of
night, hadn't
confidence.
he? Yes. Okay, so quarterfinals. That's good.
Very good.
Yeah.
I want to get champion. IEM. I
think-
hope. I always my dream.
Okay.
My dream is IEM World Championship trophy.
In Katowice?
Get yes.
Yeah.
And-
Okay. Well, if you...
명예를 원한다고. 명예를 원한다.
He wants to make a name for himself.
Yeah,
You know?
sure. No, I understand. And so, but you still need to finish top 2 here.
여기서
go to Katowice.
결승까지는 가야 되잖아.
네, 네.
캔처까지 갈 거면은.
네. 그래서 자신감은 있는데 준비도 많이 했고 연습도 엄청 많이 했기 때문에 자신감 있고 이제 대진표만 잘 나오면은 결승까지는 쉽게 갈 수 있다고 생각해요.
He says, he's super psyched about this. The whole tournament, he's been practicing really hard.
Okay.
He's been looking at his opponents. He goes, if I get a good group draw, he goes, I think no problem, I'll make it to the finals.
Okay. I mean, Sean and I were talking before, and we were saying that you're very fun, you're charismatic, you're partying, doing all these cool, crazy things, but can you win tournaments like that? Can you have fun and still win tournaments, or do you need to play serious?
많은 선수들은 이제
네.
연습만 하는데 너는
네.
놀기도 하고
네.
게임도 하고 하니까 그렇게 하면서도 우승까지 할 수 있을 것 같은지.
그러니까 이제 막 사람들이 알기에는 제가 막 파팅 뭐 이렇게 완전 막 크레이지 뭐 이런 모습인데 그 뒤에는 그러니까 이제 경기장을 이제 대회를 하고 오기 전에는 엄청나게 남들보다 더 열심히 한다고 생각해요. 저는 엄청 많이 연습하고 이제 그 쌓인 스트레스를 이제 애프터 파티 그런 데서 푸는 거고. 네, 그런
He's
거.
like, a lot of people might think, oh, he parties 50%, he parties all the time. But he's like, no, actually, before he comes to these tournaments, he feels that he practices harder than most people do.
Okay.
And he goes, and during tournaments, he doesn't party. But once he's through it all, he likes to relieve his stress through the after parties and go and get full of confidence then.
Okay.
of confidence.
All right, good.
One question I've got for you, Parting. I spoke to a couple of pro gamers before, back here, and they said in best of 3, it's difficult to beat Parting. In best of 5 and best of 7, it's much easier. What do you think about this?
너랑 이제 3경기 할 때는
네.
너 이기기 너무 힘들다.
네.
근데 5경기, 7경기 그렇게 되면은
네.
뭐 만만하다. 그렇게 나왔거든. 너는 어떻게 생각해?
좀 제가 베스트 오브 3에서는 많이 이겼는데 확실히 근데 베스트 오브 5에는 요즘에는 좀 많이 졌던 것 같아요. 그래서 이제 베스트 오브 5잖아요 이제부터. 그래서 한번 보여줘야 될 것 같아요. 이 아폴로가 이런 질문한 거를 How dare you 이런 말 나오게.
How dare
How
you?
dare you. Okay, joke.
Well, no, he says, yeah, you know, I am pretty good at best of threes. He goes, but lately I've been not doing well in best of fives, and now from here on forth it's going to be best of fives. And he goes, I want to be able to show everyone, like, hey, I could do this too, and then be able to tell you.
How dare you?
Yes.
That's right. That's right. He's like, I don't even want to hear questions like,
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
sorry, PartinG. Sorry.
So one last question. You've been BlizzCon champion already. We've seen that in the past. Last year didn't happen for you. So is this year, are you focused on making top 16 in BlizzCon and going to BlizzCon?
작년에는 블리즈컨, 그러니까 작년에 블리즈컨도 뭐 그냥 어쩌지 하고 그랬잖아. 이번 연도에는 16강까지 가서 블리즈컨까지 우승할 자신 있냐고.
제가 SK텔레콤에서 나온 결정적인 이유는 제가 2012년에 그 블리즈컨 챔피언이었잖아요. 첫 번째. 근데 제가 13년도도 못 가고 작년 라이프가 우승했을 때도 못 가고 좀 많이 창피했어요. 제 자신이. 실력은 충분히 있다고 생각하는데 근데 솔직히 캐스파 플레이어는 많은 그 폴레이나 토너먼트를 못 나가잖아요.
그치.
그래서 아 진짜 나가고 싶다. 그런 생각이 있었기 때문에 많은 팬분들도 더 많이 이끌어오고 싶고 그래서 제가 결정적으로 나온 이유는 블리즈컨 가서 다시 한번 우승컵을 들기 위해서.
팬들은 진짜 많이 얻을 거야. He said actually the main reason he left SK Telecom was because, well, not the main, but one of the big factors is that, you know, being on a KESPA team doesn't allow him to come out to these tournaments. And after he won BlizzCon back in 2012, he goes, 13, I didn't even make it. 14, I lost. You know, like, life won that. He goes, I was so embarrassed for myself because I am fully aware and I have the skill and ability to be able to do this. And, you know, I want to show the world that I can do it. So that's why he left the team. He is here now to do more individual leagues. And he was just like, absolutely, I want to make it to BlizzCon and I could show you that I could be a champion again.
Okay, that's fantastic.
그리고 라스트 마지막 이유는 섹시한 여자친구를 얻으려고.
And the very last reason is because he wants a really sexy girlfriend. Because, you know, being world champion gets you a really sexy girlfriend.
Wait, does getting world champion give you the sexy girlfriend, or does going to all these different tournaments around the world find you the sexy girlfriend?
우승하면은 섹시 걸프렌드야? 아니면 각 나라마다 다니면서 섹시 걸프렌드 찾자는 거야?
Never mind.
Okay, well, wonderful to have you on our desk with us. PartinG, always a pleasure to speak to you, particularly when you're pulling faces. Show us the face you do when we do selfies. Show the camera.
우리 셀카 찍을 때 하는 얼굴 좀 보여달래. 카메라 보고.
Show the camera.
저쪽
뭐
카메라.
셀카 찍을 때?
셀카 찍을 때
웃긴 얼굴 하는 거야?
웃긴 얼굴.
Yeah, when you do the selfie. And yes, he actually
Crazy guy.
he does do that when we do selfies.
I missed out a little bit. Before he also said he wants to go to these different tournaments because he wants to get a bigger fan base.
Okay.
But, I mean, I think through this interview alone,
He's already
you've
gained
gotten
lots of
so
fans.
many fans.
Go and follow him on Twitter, Big Boy PartinG. Congratulations to PartinG. He goes through to the quarterfinals. Our 7th player through to the round of 8. Just one spot left, and it's coming up next. Our final game of Group D is after the break.